Hi, Haley.
Hi, Mr. Wells.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Good. Happy second week.
Yes, it has been busy already.
Already, of course. That's your life.
Yes, we got a mock trial tournament this weekend, a scrimmage on
Ooh.
Wednesday, classes, internship.
Yep.
I'm
Good
like,
luck.
yeah, we're
Good to
gonna
see you, friend.
yeah,
Is
we're
it
gonna
just
get it.
us?
I think so right now.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. Well, I'll be here.
Yeah, I figure some people are gonna start trickling in the next 7. I was like, I don't want to be late because I was working on some mock trial stuff, and I'm like, I'm totally gonna get carried away.
I know. I was like totally just like relaxing. I'm like, I'm gonna get what? Oh, Duke said, oh, he just sent the Zoom link again.
I'm gonna give it a few minutes to let other people, to let everybody else join in. So yeah. All right, I think that we've got almost everybody here. So welcome everyone back to the Student Government Association meetings. After that wonderfully long winter break, we are back in session. Today is the 24th of January of 2022. Notable holidays include National Compliment Day and National Just Do It Day today. And this weekend, January 29th, is Kansas Day. I don't exactly know the significance of Kansas Day, but that's a thing. Roll call. This time it's going to be a little bit different, just because it's been a month since we've all seen each other, at least actually probably closer to 2, because I think our last meeting was in end of November. Whenever we do roll call, you're going to do your name and council as always, as well as one interesting event that happened over break. Malavika.
Yeah. Arts and Sciences Student Council.
Lawrence Brooks IV, College of Arts and Science Student Council present. One interesting thing I did over break is traveled back to Virginia and packed up all of my stuff and drove it 18 hours back to Kansas City.
Block School Student Association.
Block School Student Association, Kerrigan Row Hodge present, and over break, I got a new job.
Block School Student Association, Matt Slaney, present. Over winter break, I started a vegetable garden in my apartment.
Collegiate Pan-Hellenic Council.
Collegiate Panhellenic Council present for Haley Prinz. And one fun thing I did over break was become the mock trials defense captain.
Conservatory Student Association.
Conservatory Student Association, Brett Boyer present, and something interesting that happened. I can't think of anything. Let's just say I didn't practice as much as I should have, so bad music major. So sorry about that.
Okay, Graduate Student Council.
Eli Fair, Graduate Student Council, present. I went skiing.
Interfraternity Council. Medical School Advisory Council.
Medical School Advisory Council, Stephanie Kim present. I guess one interesting thing is that we almost lost our hamster, but luckily we found him under the couch.
Medical School Advisory Council, Erica and Polly present. I went in a submarine over winter break.
Multicultural Student Organization Council.
Nabil Boss here. Multicultural Student Organization Council, an interesting event. Got to lead my first keynote. So more to come.
That's cool. National Pan-Hellenic Council.
National Panhellenic Council, Aaron Walker present. I guess one cool thing was my family hosted Christmas dinner over break.
Pharmacy Student Council.
Pharmacy Student Council, Amy Janowski present. I went on a little ski trip to Breckenridge over break.
Pharmacy Student Council, Zach Painter present, and I also attended a ski trip to Breckenridge over winter break.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences Student Council.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences Student Council, Christian Dang. And I guess one interesting I did over the break was see the new Spider-Man movie.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences, Mary Gibson, filling in for Grayson Petrosensky today. Something that's interesting that happened over break is that I moved into a new apartment.
School of Computing and Engineering Student Council.
School of Computing and Engineering Student Council, Reagan Dunn present. One thing that I did over winter break was I got to go on vacation to Mexico.
School of Dentistry Student Council.
School of Dentistry, Mackenzie Williams present. And one thing I did over break was go to North Carolina.
School of Dentistry, Alexandria Thomas present, and something interesting that I did over break was go to Antigua with my family.
School of Education Council.
School of Education Student Council, Nicole Davidge present. I got addicted to a new video game during break.
Jessica Metters, School of Education Student Council. I got to go to a Christmas pop-up bar with a friend.
School of Law.
School of Law, Ryan Head present, and I got a new job over the winter break.
School of Law, McGregor Greenlee present, and unfortunately, the most interesting thing that happened to me was I got COVID.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sexuality and Gender Alliance Council.
Tatiana Taylor, Sexuality and Gender Alliance Council present. One thing I did was start journaling again.
Student Athlete Advisory Council. Student Council of Nursing and Health Sciences.
Nursing and Health Studies, Joey Gamble present. Interesting thing that happened. I accepted a job after I graduate in May. So yeah.
Senators at Large.
Quinn Tran, Senator at Large, and I got to visit my grandma in Texas over break.
Sagi Rudnick, Senator at Large, and something I got to do over break was spend a lot more time with my dog and 3 cats, which made me very happy.
Anya Kumar, Senator at Large, and I went to Hawaii over break.
Duke Porter, Senator at Large. And one interesting thing that happened to me out of the many is I got to work the Chiefs game last night, as stressful as it was. And I can't wait to work this Sunday when we are in the AFC Championships.
I believe we're at quorum with 27 participants.
Sounds right. Alrighty. So, do we have an approval of our minutes from our November meeting?
Move to approve minutes.
I second.
Minutes have been approved. We have no guest speakers tonight. Committee reports, I'm not sure what all the committees did over break, but if you have any updates or reminders for your committees, this would be the time to do this. So first up, our Public Relations Committee Chair, Sagi Rudnick, Senator at Large.
Hi guys, thanks Duke. There's not much of an update for our committee as we were in recess over break. We did not meet, but there definitely will be some action coming up in the near future with some proclamations and whatnot. So yeah, we're definitely excited to be back. At least I am.
Terrific. All right, Senate Resolutions Committee Chair Haley Prince, Collegiate Panhellenic Council.
Hello, I just wanted to remind everybody that if you are working on resolutions and you wanted to send those my way, that would be much appreciated so we can get those through first read and second read and on the record.
Thank you. And the Internal Affairs Committee Chair, President Pro Tem Brett Boyer, Conservatory Student Association.
Yes, hi. I'd just like to remind all the members that I sent out the Zoom link for our meeting that will happen immediately following this. If for some reason you didn't get it, please just let me know and I will make sure that you get that Zoom link.
Terrific. Terrific. All right, action items, old business. The follow for follow form. If you have not done that yet, you can do that at any time. The link will always be on the agenda under the old business. It's hyperlinked to the actual document. You should be able to put in your name, photo, major, all that stuff. New business, and this is pretty awesome stuff we've got going on tonight. So I'm going to do the boring stuff first, so we have the interesting stuff later. So first, we have some Senate makeup changes that are going to be happening in the next school year. And we also have a first reading for the Constitution Revision Act from Senator Quinn Tran. So for Senate makeup changing, what is changing? Well, first, as a lot of you may have seen from emails, the College of Arts and Sciences is being redistributed throughout the school. The college itself is going to become the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, which will be like arts and comms, philosophy. Oh my gosh, what is with this language? Anyways, so that's going to be those majors. There's like a better in-depth breakdown like on the UMKC websites. The education school will incorporate social work and psychology, as well as the hard sciences like bio and chem and engineering will all become one. So biology, chemistry, math, physics, architecture. Additionally, the Greek Life Senate seats are changing because of the actual representation or participation. I'm sorry, because the effective participation of Greek life on campus, we are condensing the 3 Greek seats, the CPC, IFC, and NPHC, into one fraternity and sorority affairs seat. So what's not changing are, block school, conservatory, dentistry, law, medicine, grad school, multicultural student affairs, saga, pharmacy, the nursing and health studies, and the student athlete leadership council. So those are not changing. Why am I talking about this? We'll get to that in a second. In essence, though, we will see a loss of 11 seats because of IFC, CPC, MPHC, College of Arts and Sciences, Bio and Chem, Comp and Engineering, and Education, but we'll also be seeing 7 new seats: Humanities and Social Sciences, Science and Engineering, Education, Social Work, and Psychological Studies, and the Fraternity and Sorority Affairs. Oh my gosh. So in total, we're actually only losing like 4 seats. We'll be going from 35 seats to 31 as of the current plans, unless something else were to change. Why does this matter? Because the elections are coming up in April. If you are interested in running for Senate again, or if you're in the peanut gallery or on the FYC interested in running for a Senate seat, you might find yourself in a new council than what you were originally planning. And you wouldn't want to try running for a position that doesn't actually exist. And of course, it's just good to familiarize yourself with how things are going to look in the future, because it allows you to adjust yourself and your plans accordingly. Anyways, on to the big thing, the Constitutional Revision Act, the first reading, authors Senator Quinn Tran and Senator Christian Dang. Quinn, you have your co-hosting abilities to pull up the act.
Thank you. Can everyone see this okay? Can I have a verbal yes or no, just because I can't see that many people on my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. So I will just spare everyone the pain of just reading word for word from this, also because I think this is very straightforward. The Constitution just has a lot of grammatical errors or misspellings. So Christian and I over break went ahead and we corrected those. And if you need the link, I sent an email over break or like right before school started. So the link can be found there, or if Christian can send that in the chat, that'd be much appreciated. But while we were going through all of this, we noticed some other inconsistencies that we just wanted to mention in Senate and kind of have a discussion about, just so everyone is kind of on the same page and just to obviously work that out. I kind of took it all from the bigger Constitution and put it into one document just so I don't have to scroll through the entire document. So for the first one, Article 2, Section 5, letter B, number 4, which can be found here, states that the president's appointed positions should not be subject to Senate confirmation, whereas Article 2, Section 9, letter A says that they are subject to confirmation. I mean, this is just chief of staff and press secretary, so it's not directly affecting the legislative branch, but in my opinion, and I think Christian kind of agreed with me, I think that both of these positions should be subject to Senate confirmation just because this is SGA as a whole. However, they would not need to go through Internal Affairs Committee. They would just go straight to the full Senate vote. Moving on to the next inconsistency. Also, all of this highlighted stuff that's like the changes that we made. So if you were also confused on Duke's little spiel about how the divisional and secondary councils are going to change, you can kind of see it here with the loss of seats. But yeah, so bouncing off of that, throughout the Constitution, they'll say either divisional or primary council. So rather than having either or, it'd be obviously beneficial to have it as one. I think we kind of talked about leaning towards divisional council rather than primary council, or maybe even changing it to maybe changing the secondary to organizational council, just so it's not like, oh, one is better than the other per se. And the duty of press secretary in Article 2, Section 9, letter C, which is, letter C, sub-letter D, states that the press secretary represents the executive branch to all social media outlets. I personally believe that this should change to all three branches. It will put more work on the press secretary, but the social media handles are UMKC SGA. It's not UMKC SGA executive branch. And plus, it doesn't shine light on maybe some of the good things that our branch is doing. It's only shining light on exec. But also kind of going off of that, there is this one section that mentions a legislative secretary. So kind of my idea, and this would open up a seat since we're having a net loss of 4 seats with the whole divisional and secondary council change. This legislative secretary position would aid the press secretary in social media posts, but also more so on making sure that Rue Groups is up to date, because Rue Groups is definitely not up to date, and just helping the speaker with any other legislative duties and helping with communication and keeping that flow of communication. If you are interested in helping me with that legislation, since I'm kind of drafting that up now, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in chat once I'm done with this. And then another thing that someone brought up to me was a possible name change of Speaker of Senate. This person said, I think we should change either the name of Speaker to President of the Senate to match with President pro tempore name, or change President pro tempore to be Speaker pro tempore. Personally, I think the first option sounds/flows better, as this is how the real US Senate works, but either are fine. I just think the title needs to be the same. So during deliberation, if you guys, or like open forum, maybe if you could kind of speak up on what your thoughts are. I kind of kept this act kind of vague, just so once we vote on stuff, I can, rather than changing it on the actual act itself, I can just change it on the Constitution. But other than that, that's all I have.
All right. So personally, so I have gotten to see this legislation and like these proposed changes a little while ago. And I definitely am very interested in revising this constitution to make it more consistent and also use updated language. Because it actually does strike me as a little irritating that we are prioritizing one kind of senator seat over another with the whole like divisional and secondary. And yeah, so if we have no one who has any thoughts on the CRA, as I am calling it, I think it is good to move on to our next orders of business, which would be officer reports. Do I have, okay, yeah. So President Wen, what is your report?
Yes, Happy New Year's, everyone. So just a little bit to share from the executive board. First, I just want to mention, shout out, I guess, to Jessica for the first newsletter that came out. We had one person that was interested in being part of the parking committee. So thank you very much for everyone here being a part of that to get that word out. As far as judges and for that position and what that entails, I am gonna move forward and communicate with Morgan. We have had judges applicants, so we have 5, actually 6 total applicants for the 3 spots total. So looking forward to getting the senators and your guys' help with that as we go through that process all over again to fill in those vacant seats. In addition to that, more to come in terms of events in the future. Please continue to fill out the 30 for 30 events that you would request for our executive board to divide and conquer and just to show up and attend. I know there's a lot of wonderful events coming up, and for each of your guys' organizations, we would really greatly appreciate if you guys would be able to take a second to fill out that form. Let me know if you can't not find it, and certainly would love to see you guys in the future, whether it be at one of those events or around campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. All right, Vice President Abigail Weiler, or Madam Vice President Abigail Weiler.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, my screen is black. I am driving to Jefferson City for my internship and it's dark, so you can't see me. But I am just kind of getting back into the swing of the position, getting back to this position with school as well. The biggest thing I've been working on is the blood drive with the faculty, specifically Kim Kushner on that. That's going to be happening in mid-April, and I'll have more updates for that probably next week or the week after. And then we'll have some other opportunities for volunteers reaching out to senators. So be on the lookout for that.
All right, thank you, Abby. All right, next up, Comptroller Kyle Potts. What is your report?
So SAFC had our last meeting on December 6th. At that meeting, we approved $35,006.24. We also, over the break, me and the advisor, Gina Stomball, went through and realized that there was a scheduling error for SAFC meetings this semester. So we got that schedule fixed for us, which ultimately will change the SGA Senate meetings for after spring break. However, I will let Duke kind of dive into that at a later time when he's comfortable. Other than that, that's all I have this week.
Yes, in response to that, the dates have been updated and approved. So there are almost all of our future Senate meetings for this semester are on Brew Groups, and you can see when they are. I do need to add one for February the 7th, I think, or it's either the 7th or the 21st, whichever one of them is missing. But so yeah, after this, there should be like 6 meetings left for the 6 of these meetings left for the semester. So yes, who next? Press Secretary Jessica Wen. Do you have any report?
Right now, I believe I'm just working on the next upcoming newsletter. If any of your guys' schools has anything that you would like to have included in the newsletter, you can email me and I would be more than happy to include that. I also included a fun little interactive bingo just to get more of the UMKC community together. It's on our Instagram if any of you want to participate in that. And then we are also working on still with the website. I just contacted them again to see the updates on that.
Terrific. And Chief of Staff Tia, what, do you have a report?
I don't have any major reports at the moment, no.
Terrific. With the conclusion of the officer reports, we now go to our open forum. If anybody has anything they wish to address or bring to the attention of the Senate, now would be the time.
Everybody. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, are you sure, Todd?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Thanks, Todd. So there are really two things. The first thing is what we just heard about the timing change in our schedule. I think that I don't just speak for myself when I say that as the senators, we would appreciate some sort of, notice about this that is written. I think this could have definitely been included in any of the emails that have been sent so far. And I'm not really sure why we didn't say the new times here in this meeting. And the most important thing is I don't think this can happen without a vote in front of it. So I'm not sure if I'm right about that, but I would like to look into that because I'm personally not sure if these new times will work for me. I'll have to review that, and I'm sure the other senators will too. But anyway, that's the first thing, and that was just in response to what we just heard. The second thing that I think has to be put to our immediate attention is this concert resolution that has been introduced to us informally by President Nguyen. With all due respect to the senators that he has had working on this, and I appreciate you guys' work, I think that this is an incredibly misguided thing to do right now. I think that the premise that we can't fund mental health, but we can fund a concert, which was made by our president, I think that is not true. I just took a look, did some preliminary research. Here it is. I'm sorry, I was finding the statistic. The average pay for a psychiatrist in Kansas City right now is about $240,000 a year, which means that instead of allocating $450,000 to a concert, which by the way, UPB, the Union Programming Board, does Rootopia, which is the exact same thing. Instead, we could literally have a psychiatrist on campus for 2 years who could literally prescribe medication and make a world of difference in our mental health, which would, in my view, be a much more appropriate investment in terms of our well-being as a campus. I appreciate the gesture behind it, but with COVID and the fact that as a generation right now and as a group of students, our overall mental health is extremely low, and COVID has, really pushed us to our limits. I think that we need to be looking at funding mental health to a greater degree first, especially with everything going on. But that's my 2 cents.
Senator Brett Boyer, or President Pro Tem Boyer, you have the floor.
Thank you, Duke. I'd like to second Sigi's observations. I think we could use this money in better ways that would benefit us as a student body. For those who don't know, pipes burst in Oak Street Hall during the break and had to displace, I think, probably half of the building, and there's been no compensation for that, and there wasn't any compensation for the pipes bursting last year in Johnson. So I think, using that money for something like that, or even using it to, I don't know, even provide scholarships for students, as like SGA scholarships or something, as a way to attract more students and to help increase our experience, that will have a better return on their investment in the long term rather than a concert.
One just quick question. I'm gonna jump in. Obviously this has not been submitted as official, legislation or discussion, so it can be discussed, so it is appropriate to be discussed, but there's no official action. And also, when we talk about funding, if it would be helpful, I'm happy to share what funds can and cannot be used for. So I'm happy to do a presentation about the intent of the student activity fee, and that might be helpful to this conversation as well. And while I have the floor, I'm just going to chime in real quickly. I want to say next week, or not next week, but February 7th Senate meeting, Provost Jennifer Lundgren will be attending and introducing a tuition and fee model that is going to be really important for your attendance and discussion. There are some pretty important changes that I want everyone to be present for and weigh in on and have some important comments. So thank you, Duke, and thank you to everyone who's commented.
Thank you, Todd. President Wen, you have the floor next.
Thank you, Sagi, for your comments, and Brett, as well as everyone else. Yeah, Todd, if possible, I think that would be greatly appreciated if you can talk a little bit more about the funds at a future date and where those are pulled from. And just to clarify some of the numbers that was previously mentioned, $450,000, that is, I believe, incorrect. It is closer towards based on enrollment is how much student activity fee money that comes in. So that's based on student enrollment. From that cost about 600,000, we're looking at around 100,000 actually, and that would be half of what you suggested as an alternative. But going off of what Todd said, which would be really helpful for a future meeting, is where that money can come from. And just because it comes from one pot of money may not necessarily mean that you can just put it into Oak for the dorms for the flooding, if that makes sense.
Gabby, you have the floor.
Hi, everyone. Not a senator anymore, but just wanted to pop in about this conversation with the mental health funding. So what Sagi was mentioning earlier is he and a couple other senators are interested in pursuing a referendum that I originally submitted a couple years ago before COVID, which would be potentially, I mean, they can do whatever they want with it, but the way that I put it forward was it would be a student fee increase, and it wouldn't be moving around the student activities fee funding that already exists. So it would be, if they do it the same way, a new fee. And I think what Sigi was trying to say is that priorities should be on addressing these other concerns of students and maybe not on a super spreader concert. So yeah, if anybody has any questions about that mental health legislation, we should be meeting with the director of counseling services and the student health and wellness director next week sometime to discuss it.
Terrific. Do we have any other comments or senators who wish to make an address here? All right. That being said.
Well, sorry, just a second. I was trying to unmute myself. Sorry.
Okay, Senator Sagi.
I just wanted to put in one final remark, and just the remark is what I typed in the chat, which is the amount is $150,000 for 3 fiscal years. And that is what it says in the piece of legislation that was drawn up and unofficially submitted by email. So I did just want to clarify that those are the numbers according to what was sent to us.
Thank you, Sagi. Senator Tran, you have the floor.
Yes, in regards to CRA, the Constitution Revision Act, if you guys could let me know your opinions, like through email. Oh, I forgot to put my email in the chat. Sorry about that. Or if you could comb back maybe a little bit and find my initial email, I can always re-forward that to everyone. I would really love your opinions because this is very important. It's the Constitution. Yeah.
All righty. So as that seems to be the last of comments, questions, and concerns for the open forum, I move to adjourn this meeting at 6:40 p.m. Thank you all. Welcome back. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Don't let the semester stress get to you.